Hello everyone, my name is Toma Bonciu and you can find me on tomabonciu.com. Today I'm going to edit this photo of an autumn scene, a trail or a dirt road through the forest. The photo was taken at about 10 a.m. The sun is rising at about 7 a.m. I'm not usually photographing at 10, but it was pretty cold during the night and the morning was warm, so there was a little bit of fog that kind of filtered the light and that is why I could take this photo. As you can see, I tried to have as much tones as possible. I've also used a gradual ND filter in this area over here because the light was too strong. What I did in Lightroom was to correct the lenses and to remove the chromatic aberration, the fringes. Why? Because very often, no matter how good your lens is, when you have strong contrast like this in areas like this, you will have chromatic aberrations. I also added a little more detail in the shadows and lowered the contrast in the overall image. What I want to do with it in post-processing is now in Photoshop I want to increase the sensation of light over here and also bring that light over over here to the road, on the road. So let's get started. First I'll add a brightness and contrast adjustment layer and increase the brightness a little bit more. Then I add another brightness and contrast, and I concentrate only in this part over here where you can, so I increase the brightness but I'm looking only here. Okay, click on the mask, fill it with black to make this layer invisible. Alt backspace is the shortcut to fill it with this color over here with the foreground color. Control backspace to fill it with the background color. Now with a soft brush with hardness 0%, paint with white in this mask in this area over here to bring back the luminosity from the adjustment layer. Okay, now I have an even image in terms of tones of light that I can sculpt. So let's add another brightness and contrast, dim the brightness. Okay, now use a soft brush with hardness 0%. I will start with 50% opacity, paint with black on a white mask. So I'm painting this area over here and the road that is coming, and now I'm switching to 30%. I'm pressing on the keyboard on 3 key. Let's make this image a little bit smaller to have a more to easier make judgments on where you should paint on the mask. Okay, Control 0 to fit it and Control plus to make a little bit of zoom, because Photoshop it's not interpreting well the image when I'm doing the fit. Look at it, it's not sharp, but with a little bit of zoom in the image becomes sharp. Now I will add a curves because I want to control the overall contrast of the image. I will also lower the light a little bit. Too much contrast. Okay, add another brightness, dim the brightness once again, and paint back in these areas over here. Okay, now the lighting, let's take a look. The light has changed a little bit. The image has more depth than the original photo. Now what I want to do is add a hue and saturation adjustment layer and control the saturation of the leaves. Also shift a little bit the leaves towards red. Okay. Add an exposure adjustment layer, and on the offset 0.01. Let's see 2 how it looks. No, 2 it's too much. 1. What I'm doing is shifting the overall shadows. I'm also doing this with the curves. For example, you can take this over here and drag it up, and you will shift the entire shadows on the image. And in the end, I'm going to add a gradient map, something like this, to grade the image a little bit. Let's place it on lighten, and from opacity, okay, I think that's about it. So the original image was this one, and the final image is this. I will show you another thing. Let's resize it to see it better. Okay, now if you look on the navigate, now I made the image to kind of fit the screen at 100%. And what I'm going to do is to duplicate this layer. Go to filter, sharpen. As you can see, there is a sharp over the entire image that doesn't look that good. Create a mask holding the Alt key. Now the mask was created filled with black, and this layer has no effect. Now I'm going to paint with white with a 30% brush opacity on the brush to kind of control what I want the sharp to be. I'm doing this very often when I have photos with forests, because it creates a sense of 3D, a sense of depth. Adding sharp on the details that are closer to the camera, on certain trees. And if you look a little bit to the image, you have a sensation of the road really going behind those trees, because I didn't add any blur, but just because I've sharpened some edges, some areas more than others, your brain believes that the rest of the areas are blurry. So once again, this was the original image, and this is the edited one. This was the small tutorial for today. Once again, I'm Toma Bonciu. You can find me on tomabonciu.com. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you like this tutorial. And until next time, keep on photographing. It's the only way you can get